Okay, call to order the Township of Rochelle Park Land Use Board meeting on November 13th, 6 p.m., 2025. Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, this meeting of November 13th, 2025 was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News on April 2nd, 2025, and the Our Town on April 3rd, 2025. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Can we all rise to the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just want to point out that this past Tuesday was Veterans Day, so I want to extend our gratitude to the men and women who serve our country. Please pardon my voice tonight. I am recovering from a pretty hefty cold, so I apologize for the way I sound. Michaela, could you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Chairperson Warren?
Here.
Vice Chairman Mattson?
Here.
Mayor Judge Crivello? Absent. Committeeman Chewinski? Absent. Member Aboud? Absent. Member Coleman?
Here.
Member Dudia?
Here.
Member Holtz?
Here.
Member Mueller?
Here.
Alternate Smith?
Here.
Alternate Kandira?
Here.
Alternate White? And alternate Mazzone.
Okay. Thank you for that. Next up is the approval of the minutes from October 16, 2025. Everyone received a copy of them in their email as well as tonight. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the very lengthy minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Dudia. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mattson. He was here. Mr. Mattson was not here last meeting. Sorry, Mr. Mattson. Yeah, that's okay. We can't second that. I'll second it. I was here. That's fine.
All right, I'm just going to list who cannot vote on this.
There we go.
Vice Chairman Mattson, Mayor Judge Crivello, Committeeman Chewinski, Member Coleman, Member Holtz, Member Mueller, Alternate Smith, and Deputy Mayor Miller cannot vote.
So who can?
We
Me,
have
Mr. Mazzone, and myself.
So Aboud's not here. So you can.
Miss Kadira can. She was here.
Yes.
Yes.
White is not here today.
So
and
it's
Mazzone.
Kadira, myself, and Mazzone.
Mm-hmm.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much. Next up, public portion, non-agenda items. This is the part of the meeting where anyone from the public can come up and ask or comment to the Land Use Board about items that don't appear on the agenda that aren't up for consideration tonight. So I will open up. Can I get a motion to open to the public?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Kadira. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Hi, just please tell us your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Jim Jaworski. I'm actually an attorney for an applicant tonight, but I have something I want to call to the board's attention if you haven't already had this happen to you.
Yep.
There's a widespread fraud being taken on land use applicants. Has that occasioned this municipality yet? It just happened in Ramsey yesterday, so I wanted to come up and tell you that you should be aware of it.
Yeah, it has not, and I am aware of it only
Okay.
because I'm
Okay.
a trustee for the New Jersey Institute of Local Government Attorneys. I run the listserv,
Okay.
and it has been filled
Yeah.
with those problems.
Yeah, we've heard of it in Montclair, Leonia, and now Ramsey just yesterday. So, as long as you know about it, that's good.
What kind of fraud is that?
Yeah, so, go ahead.
Sure. Obviously, a lot of the applications are available online. People are looking at those online filings and writing emails to the applicants that are very, very articulate in terms of the application, and they conclude with a statement that says a fee or an escrow in the amount of X number of dollars must be paid immediately.
Online, which is the clue.
Correct.
Nobody pays online for this
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
Oh.
But it must be working because
Yeah.
it's going everywhere now. It's just going everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Reminds me of my uncle from Nigeria who keeps asking me for
It's not-
$5,000. And I keep giving, and he's still, the problems don't go away.
if you read these emails, and you're not sophisticated, for example, you're a homeowner filing, They read pretty well. I've seen a few of them now. They read pretty well, so
Thank you.
it's going to have to be attended to.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, right.
Anyone else in the public?
Hi, Bob Hassel, 40 Forest Place. I just want to comment on what a wonderful treat it was to have Mr. Di Maria here last month, and his immediate attention seems to completely have solved the problem at 29 Fairfield. The gate has been closed every day since then. There's no more mud in the street. There's grass growing back in the pavers as it all was meant to be. I do miss him, though. There's an empty seat here. I was hoping...
He unfortunately had another obligation tonight.
I understand.
He did email me to ask, so.
I got a whole other list of stuff maybe he could work on. It'll
Can
wait.
we perhaps email that to me? I can give it to
No,
him
I'll go-
directly. You seem to be.
Mr. Warren, I love to go to that office. I'll be there tomorrow, probably sometime afternoon. All
Well,
right?
I'm very happy to hear the
Thank you.
issue with Fairfield Ave is being
Yeah,
resolved.
it's 100% resolved.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Verhassel. Anyone else in the public? I see someone else approaching.
Hi, Nicole Snayer, I live on Oldish Street.
Hi.
I know you guys have done some discussing about reviewing the current ordinances, making some updates and things. I'm not sure if this is a you thing or if I should have brought it up at the meeting last night, but I feel that the property maintenance ordinances are lacking, especially where it comes to enforcing the violations. I feel that residents are complaining, and all that's getting done is a violation keeps getting sent, and all they're doing is paying it, and they're not rectifying the situation, especially when it comes to safety concern issues, especially like at intersections, corners, properties, where, especially near schools and parks, where children are biking, walking, parents are walking to pick up their schools, especially now that it's getting dark earlier, it's going to be snowing soon. Things like this need to be taken care of. I know in other towns like Garfield and Glen Rock that they actually have in their ordinances where after the first violation and second and third, there's actual like court summonses, higher fines, things like that. Glen Rock, I know for a fact, will actually send out their own landscaper to take care of the property, and then a tax lien is put on for the payment of that. I did bring with me, if you guys would like to review a copy of the ordinances from Glen Rock and Garfield. That way, if you wanted to look at them, maybe it's something that we could use to update our ordinance to make it more beneficial. That way, we can have these things actually rectified and not have to worry about cars or people getting hit because they can't safely turn onto a street.
If you don't mind, we could take the copy of those. So I was going to address your question. Thank you so much. And you and I have spoken several times, right? Just seeing each other around about town. The mayor and council, the township committee, are the ones who can change the ordinances. I did go to a township committee meeting probably 2 months ago and asked them to please review the fines and the fees that are given to people who break the property maintenance codes, et cetera. So I will follow up. I don't know if they have had a chance to review those ordinances and increase those fines or make the fines more substantial in where there are liens put on. I believe that the last time they were changed were in the 80s. And it was not, $75 was the fee for a violation. Now, I said in 1985, $75 was quite a bit of money, but in 2025, probably not so much, right? So so I did bring those concerns to the township committee as the chairperson of the land use board, but I will follow up. I'll email the administrator, and I will, you gave me these from Garfield and from Glen Rock.
Yeah.
So
I work in
I
Glen
can-
Rock, so that's why I know for a fact, like,
Yes.
if they don't comply, they are taken to court, and we will send a landscaper out, and the bill just gets put on as a tax lien. But I also have a friend who owns property in Garfield, and I
Yeah.
saw their property maintenance. What it looks like on the violation itself, it actually shows like your first offense, second, third, and fourth, so that you know what the consequences are
It shows where?
on the violation
Got
that they
it.
get. So that's why just knowing those two towns, I'm sure there's more I could research, but just because those were two that I knew actually were enforcing these things with higher consequences. That's why I picked those two specifically.
Okay, so I will definitely follow up again. I'm thinking 2026 would be a great time to revisit this and change those ordinances early on so that, the people who are violating are not just kind of getting away with a minor infraction. It actually has some weight to it. And I understand your concern as well. It is getting dark now, of course, super early. And I think the town in general is looking to be more walkable. That's something we have to consider is the property maintenance code. So I appreciate it.
No.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Snyder? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else in the public before we move forward on non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to close. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Moving on to the bills list, I have a few bills to read off into the record. First off is one from Boswell for 2 East Terrace Ave, Block 201, Lot 1, single-family variance for $177. I have a second bill from Boswell for 25 Susquehanna Ave, Block 207, Lot 27, single-family variance for $177. And then I have one from Costa, RP Project Engineer on October 7th, 2025, review revised deeds and email approval for $170. That's for 12 Lexington Avenue, Block 5, Lot 42.01 in Rochelle Park. And then the other one from Costa Engineering for 25 Susquehanna Ave, Block 207, Lot 27. An extensive list of RP Principal Engineering, Project Engineering, review application and plans, review application and plans, prepare review letter. These are dated 7/8, 7/9, 7/10, 2025. Reviewed plans and application, 7/11, 2025, finalized review letter, August 1st, 2025, revised review letter, email to board secretary, 8/21/25, review file and attend PB meeting, 9/8/25, review revised plan, update review letter, and 9/10/25, finalized review letter, for a grand total of $2,470. Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Do a roll call, please, for the bills.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Mattson?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Dudio?
Yes.
Member Holtz?
Yes.
Member Mueller?
Yes.
Alternate Smith?
Yes.
Alternate Kandira?
Yes.
And alternate Mazzone.
I know next on our agenda, there was a discussion with Mr. Burgess. He's not here tonight, so we're going to obviously not hold that discussion about the master plan. Mr. Burgess has been in communication. He's working on the 2 documents that he had said at the last meeting he was going to submit. So we are in compliance with the timeline, and I'm sure we'll see him back here in December to have further conversations about that. Sorry, Mr. Lyden. Okay. All right, next up, our applications. Application LUB 2025-01, first student. Location 53 Central Ave, Block 23, Lot 1, D variance. Their last hearing was all the way back in June 26, 2025. Mr. Rosenberg.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Bruce Rosenberg on behalf of First Student. As you said, Mr. Chairman, this is a continuation of the application of First Student, which began in April. The last meeting we had on this was on June 26th. At that meeting, several members of the board had some questions having to do with the issue of removal of the prior underground tanks at the property, as well as questions having to do with improvements that had made in the plans. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would like to first call the owners, LSRP, Thomas Hunt, and Mr. Hunt is going to testify specifically with requests that the board made about information about the removal of the prior underground tanks on the property, as well as general history about the site, which I think hopefully members of the board will elucidate the issue of the fact that on-site dispensing of fuel has existed at this property since its inception in the 1950s. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I guess Mr. Hunt needs to be sworn virtually, and then we will qualify him as the owner's LSRP. Mr. Hunt, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine.
Very good.
He's way ahead of me. Welcome, Mr. Hunt. You're raising your hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Thomas Hunt, Hundt. My address is 5 Mountain Boulevard, Suite 12, Warren, New Jersey.
Your witness, sir.
Mr. Hunt, would you please review your qualifications for the board?
Sure. When I started working on the project, and first, thank you for having me here. I was with Atlantic Environmental Consulting Firm, Atlantic Environmental Consulting Services, as the president, and for 27 years I had worked there. In April, we merged with Verdantis, who I'm currently employed by, but otherwise, everything else associated with the project has not changed. In terms of my qualifications, I have a BS and an MS in environmental science from Rutgers University. I also have a PhD in environmental engineering from the Johns Hopkins University, and I have over 40 years of environmental consulting experience. As noted, I'm a LSRP, and I've been an LSRP since the inception of the program, and my license is in good standing. Also, I was a former member of the Warren Township, New Jersey Planning Board for 4 years, a former member of the Warren Township Sewerage Authority for 12 years, including being the chairman for a number of years.
Very good. So,
Mr. Rosenberg, you're offering him as an
he is
expert.
the owner's LSRP, Mr. Mondello, and that's what he's being offered as.
Can I just ask what an LSRP?
Oh, yes, Mr. Hunt, thank you, if you would. Please tell the board what an LSRP
I'm
is.
sorry, licensed site remediation professional, which is a license provided by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, qualifying you as an expert in site remediation.
Thank you.
So he's a fact witness, essentially.
Yes, for purposes of trying to provide a specific testimony with respect to the removal of the prior underground tanks on the property. And so, Mr. Hunt, I would first ask you to please describe to the board the owner's retaining of you in order to remove the prior underground storage tanks on the property.
Yes, I was retained by the owner in February 2023 for the purpose of removing the tanks and making closure for the site.
Okay. And as a result of that, what analysis did you undertake with respect to determining the existence of the tanks on the property that were there?
There were 3 tanks that were removed. There was a 2,000-gallon heating oil tank, a 10,000-gallon gasoline tank, and a 10,000-gallon diesel fuel tank. In terms of evaluating the property, we used multiple lines of evidence in doing it. One of the ways we did it is we went to the NJDEP registration registration website, looked at what tanks had been present at the site. It showed us the tanks had been there since 1953, and identified when tanks are removed and when they were replaced. Also, we relied on aerial photography. We got aerial photographs between 1951 and 2023. I believe you provided those aerials.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I don't know whether you can pull them up on the screen, but I certainly have copies, Mr. Chairman, of the aerial photographs that I would like Mr. Hunt to review. I made 12 sets, and there are actually, I believe, 12 people.
Did you take these photographs yourself, Mr. Rosenberg?
Mr. Hunt can certainly testify as to where he got these aerial photographs from. So I guess, if I may...
Yes, you can do, yes, please, feel free to disseminate. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bruce. And Mr. Mondello, I don't remember what the last incident was that we ended with in June. So I don't know if you want to.
I'm not so sure.
All right, so if we could certainly use today's date,
Yeah,
if that
and then
makes
we'll figure
sense.
it out, yeah.
All right, so maybe the set can be 11:13A1, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so, Mr. Hunt, I know that you have in front of you the same set of drawings that the board now has, which have been marked as Exhibit A-1. And so they are in chronological order, are they not?
Yes.
Okay, so I would ask if you would please, first of all, just for the record, where these aerial photographs were secured from. What source did you use?
The photos are from the firm Environmental Data Resources, or EDR, or Lightbox, it's also known as. It's one of the largest, they have one of the largest collections of historical resources in the country, including aerial photographs. And the photographs, what I've included here is one from before the site was developed, and then I have it going through 2023. And we've outlined in red approximately what the property boundary is, and then we've also put in blue, you'll see where it says dispensers, that's where the gas dispensers have been throughout the history of the site. I should also note that in terms of the location of dispensers, we spoke with the owner of the property, John Montefiorio, and he's familiar with the site back to the 50s, and he confirmed that it had been a facility for buses as early as the 50s, and that the location of the dispensers is accurate. So as I noted, the first one from 1951, you'll see there's no development in terms of the existing building associated with the bus facility. And then the next one that we've included is 1961, where you see the first one that you have on the records that shows the bus facility there, and then we noted where the dispensers are. And as I said, knowing that the facility had been there, we relied on the NJDEP, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, records showing when there were underground storage tanks. We relied on these aerial photographs, and we relied on on-site knowledge of the facility.
And once again,
I'm sorry,
yes.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Hunt, do you have in your possession the documentation from the DEP? Look, I see Mr. Rosenberg.
Yes, we do.
Ready to go.
Mr.
All right.
Mondello?
Cooperate in your testimony. Thank you.
Yes.
Just a moment.
Thank you.
I can hand it out to everybody, or you just can look at it if you want. It's the printout from the DEP that Mr. Hunt has relied on.
Would anyone like a copy?
And we'll do the same thing, 11/13, 2025, A2.
So, Mr. Hunt, just for the record, what's been marked as 1113A-2, that is the printout that you yourself secured from the NJDEP data site, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a site that you cite and go to in your capacity as an LSRP, correct?
Correct.
And again, based upon this review, this facility began operation in 1953, is that correct?
Yes.
Let me, it specifically says, I think on page 2, Mr. Rosenberg, Mr. Hunt, that the tank install date was January 1, 1953. Is that correct? I mean, I guess nobody went to a New Year's Eve party.
Sometimes when they have the old information, they'll put a date during that year down. So, or nobody went to the New Year's Eve party that day. You're right. That's one of the other alternatives.
All right, so we don't know whether or not that date is actually accurate.
It's within that year, and I don't think in terms of the purpose of what we're looking at that it has a substantial influence on what we're discussing about the site.
Well, it does. I think Mr. Rosenberg would agree. One of the things we were trying to hammer home is, have these things been installed
Yes.
prior to the prohibiting ordinance?
Well, we didn't establish the date of the prohibiting ordinance, but I think given the information that we've been able to glean, particularly with the aerials and Mr. Hunt's, testimony, I think it's clear and unequivocal that filling operations have been on this site since this site has been operated as a bus terminal for storage of school buses.
I see. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt, again, I just sort of elaborated, but in your expert opinion, do you believe, based upon everything that you've reviewed, that in fact dispensers have been on this property since its inception as a bus storage facility?
I do.
Could I for 1 second, Steve, any idea how, I'm sure Mr. Rosenberg has tried, any idea how we find when the prohibiting ordinance was actually adopted by the township?
You've done another request, I assume, Mr. Rosenberg?
We've gotten no other records at all.
It's very difficult then to provide a specific date, Mr. Mandelli. It becomes difficult.
All right, I mean, I had the same issue in Montague. I was actually able to find something from 53, but it was not easy. Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you. I just have one more final question of Mr. Hunt, which is, as you know, we're here seeking a use variance to have an above-ground tank as opposed to the tanks that were removed by your company. Do you have an opinion as a licensed site remediation professional as to which is more preferable, to have below-ground fuel tanks or above-ground fuel tanks?
In terms of environmental issues, I believe above-ground storage tanks are preferred. If there is a leak, it's easier to detect. Normally, there's a secondary containment associated with it, so you can have a faster response and minimize if there's any discharge of petroleum and minimize it. And it's preferential for the environment.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I have no further questions of Mr. Hunt.
I'm going to open up to the professionals next, if that's okay, to go to the board, and come back to us here, and then obviously the members of the public. We have tonight for Boswell Engineering, Mr. Morandi, who's on the right-hand side, and then on the left side is Mr. Lyden, who's in for Mr. Burgess. Gentlemen, any questions or comments for this witness, Mr. Hunt? Yes, Mr. Morandi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I haven't seen the exhibit A2 tonight, but my question to Mr. Hunt is, has the DEP permit been closed out for the removals?
Not yet. We are going to submit the remedial action report for both the soil and the groundwater. Once that's submitted, we'll also submit a remedial action outcome document, which will then close out the site.
And your estimated time frame for those submissions?
By the beginning of next year.
Thank you.
Mr. Lyden, any questions or comments?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I'll bring it back to the board next. Members of the board, for Mr. Hunt.
I have a
Yes, Mr. Mattson.
question for the professionals based on the last question. Should we be waiting for that soil sample to come back to know what the potentially, just thinking outside the box here, why this tank was removed, what we don't know up here that the property owner knows?
Well, generally, boards of adjustment, planning boards, have your own operating schedule. And an application needs to be approved or denied within a certain number of days from when it's deemed complete or it's presumed to be approved. DEP has their own little schedule. They have calendars with months on them, but no days. Sometimes they're not even months on them. So I would suggest that it would be appropriate for the board to take action, and if it's an approval, condition that upon DEP issuing the remedial action plan and move on. But I would recommend and suggest that it really wouldn't be proper to wait for the DEP. Quite frankly, that could take a long time.
And we have 180 days to approve an application. Of course, the applicant here has been generous and granted extensions.
If I may, forgive me, Mr. Maxon, I want to put your mind at ease and ask the question of Mr. Hunt. Mr. Hunt, when you removed the tanks, can you just tell the board, was there any issue or area of concern whatsoever with those tanks?
No, there was not, and actually, Rochelle Park had their inspector, Joseph Carditi, out at the site, and he reviewed the site. Also, the insurance company had their inspector who was out at the site, and he approved the removal of the tanks also, and he had commented, my comment, that it was one of the cleanest tanks we'd ever seen that came out of the site. We took over 24 post-closure soil samples from the ground, and all the samples met the NJDP soil criteria.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you very much. Anyone else up here with questions or comments? Ms. Muller, yes?
I just have one question. From the A1 you just gave us tonight, the dispensers that are on the left side of that building, behind the building, and you're moving them to the right side of that building right now? If you're looking at the aerial photos,
I have the aerial, the location of the new dispensers for the
Right.
fueling.
Right. they're not in the same place.
Yeah, they're going near the tanks themselves, right? Yeah, they're being relocated totally. This exhibit would not show,
Right.
yeah, this doesn't show. Mr. Costa can point out where the new dispensers will be.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're moving them from behind where they were blocked by the building to out into the open on the right of the building, right?
No.
No?
I have this here if you want to take a look at it.
I'm still on the road. Still. Mr. Costa, could you answer Ms. Muller's question about where the dispensers go?
And again, from my understanding, the original ones at 53 were in the location.
Yes.
Which
Right.
would be the northwest
Right.
corner of the building. The proposal is to put it in between the back of the building going easterly and have the distances that the board wanted to each of the neighbors. And then to screen this out, or provide even the planted along both property lines, I think it's 50, 66, and 106.
Right, and I just,
Mr. Lyon has obviously for a landscape plan, which we did on both sides.
no, I'm aware of that. I just wanted to make sure that they were behind the building. Now they're to the right, in center.
And they're centered, so the
Right.
as far as they can be from the property, from the residential property to the rear, based on the comments of the public hearing on one of the first hearings. And then to shield it out even more, again, we're planting arborvitae on both sides, and then put in irrigation and make sure that does.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I just didn't know where they were originally. So originally they were where he was saying today. Okay, that's all I wanted.
Thank you.
Mr.
I have a question.
Is it possible to move that board, because I can't see?
Hi.
Sorry about that.
Makes a horrible window.
Just for clarification purposes, you had said about the dispensers that have been removed. I just wanted to go over again the amount of gallons per one. You said was 2,000, 10,000. The other one was also 10, I believe?
That's correct.
Okay, and my next question would be, I apologize, I am a new board member. The amount of gallons in the new tank?
3,000.
How many?
3,000.
3,000 total.
3,000 total.
Okay, and my next question is, I understand about the landscaping around, but is it a general practice when you have an above-ground tank that there would be protection around it and, concrete, whatever?
We have, yes, Board Member Condero, we've reviewed all of that before
Yes.
in prior hearings, but again, we're happy with Mr. Costa as the next witness, the engineer. He will review again, and Mr. Underdown, our tank specialist, can review that again.
Yeah, and that's a common practice, because I know it's a busy lot.
Oh, absolutely,
Many buses and
yes.
everything to have protection around it.
We have taken and can review again all the safety features that we have heard concerns of the board since we began in April, and we will review that again with you as part of their testimony.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I see if any members of the public have
Sure.
a comment about the testimony from Mr. Hunt? Any members of the public? No questions, sorry. Seeing none, we'll thank Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, yes, he can log off. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for accommodating him.
No problem. Just give us a second while we get everything back to normal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, my next witness is going to be Mr. Costa.
No, just kidding. Come on, Mr. Costa.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, members of the board. Good evening. Again, for the record, Robert Louis Costa, CUSDA. Business address 325 South River Street in Hackensack, New Jersey.
So, Mr. Costa, if I may, I believe you prepared a revised set of plans that have a last revision date of September 4th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, Mr. Mondell, you want that as a 1113A-3 as a set?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, very good. So, Mr. Costa, I would ask you to please review the improvements that have been made to the plan, particularly with respect to landscaping, irrigation. That was an issue that Mr. Lyden raised at the June meeting, as well as, in light of Lord Member Kandira's comment, just review also sort of the safety improvements from a civil engineering standpoint. Mr. Underdown will go into much greater detail with the exhibit about other safety features.
And I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. To answer your question, again, at the first meeting, it came up as far as containment. So we revised the plan, we put full containment around, which is a curve around, valves, and any event that this tank does spring a leak, so to speak, will be contained within that area and then remediated accordingly. We also placed concrete New Jersey barriers around that. So in the event that a bus, a truck, a car comes into that area, you're not going to get into where the tank is. And again, you're going to go back and you'll hear exactly how the tank operates and what that does. Then it was requested again by the neighbors. We actually moved and centered it almost of a lot to get it as far away as possible to the neighbors, and then added a little more protection as far as the building is blocking a portion of it, so when that doesn't happen, that sideline, we're planting 66. Just want to verify that. On the northerly side. $66 arborvitae on the northerly side. We're adding irrigation, and then 106. Blow this up, and this would be.
I believe it's 105 on the plan.
What's that?
I believe it's 105 on the plan, for the record.
Well, no, there's 66 on the north, and there's 105 on the south.
Yes.
Yes, you said 106.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. We can move on.
And basically, that's it. I think it was where I left off the testimony.
It is, but again, just for the record, those are giant arborvitae, correct?
They are.
And just for the record, just how high, what's the height of those at planting, and what's the height of them as they grow?
We're going for 5 to 6 feet at planting, and realistically, they probably grow anywhere from maybe 6 inches to maybe that. You might get a foot per year, maybe, depending on if you fertilize it properly. Leland cypress, they grow much faster, much quicker. They're not as dense as these, but they can certainly do the same job if you want to change them. They grow much faster, much taller. Both will do the same thing. The arborvitae a little bit better. They tell me the deer don't eat them. I've seen more deer in the last 2 weeks than I've seen in my entire life. I don't hunt, but I think if anybody wants to hunt, no sense going to Montana or somewhere, you might as well just go to Berkeley County.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further of Mr. Costa.
Thank you. I'll turn to the professionals first, and then we'll come back to the board and the public. Mr. Leiden, do you have anything for Mr. Costa?
Actually, I do, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great.
And I'll apologize to Mr. Costa before I start. More of a belt and suspenders issue. I'll call you Bob because we've known each other for so long. I see the plan with the Jersey dividers surrounding the tank. And I know the tank is proposed to be a metal walled tank. The dividers on the east and west side of the tank are 7 feet or so from the tank itself. The tank, the concrete dividers on the south side are within 6 inches of the tank. And as I understand your drawing, Bob, these dividers are placed on the ground. And I know they're not plastic dividers that you sometimes use for traffic control. But my question is, how much force would it take to move one of these dividers into the tank and rupture the wall of the metal tank? And if that is an issue that's of some concern, could the tank be moved, could the divider be moved to provide a bigger separation from the tank? Or maybe certain Jersey dividers get drilled into the ground, into the concrete base that you have, and then the pavement?
You could do all the above. Certainly we could move, obviously we could move them. That wouldn't be an issue. As far as the actual, what impact it would take to move these, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. I could certainly come back with that information and give it to you. As far as getting them into the ground, you'd have to put a foundation in, which you normally see, on the highways when they pour these on the highways. Foundation, rebar coming up, and then putting them in the ground. But certainly we can do that. We can anchor them back in it if necessary. But certainly,
I'm not looking to add more complexity and cost to the project than is necessary. And being a layman and not being an expert, I suspect it would be very difficult to move the Jersey barrier 7 feet. So I'm not so concerned about the ones on either end, but the one that's only 6 inches, or the ones that are only 6 inches away, that seems a little close for government work.
Mr. Leiden, Mr. Underdown, he's going to testify about that.
He's a tank expert.
And he is.
But I'm more concerned about the barrier moving into the tank.
There's no issue with us further hardening what you're concerned about. And he will be able to testify about that. And I think that it will satisfy you and the board. It's an excellent suggestion, and we will be able to do something to
also, just for the record, for some clarity, it's the barrier, and then it's a concrete curb, and then the tank. So you have a couple of layers that would have to actually get removed in order to move this into the tank.
Mr. Chairman, that was the only question I had for Mr. Costa.
Thank you. Mr. Morandi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not certain if Mr. Costa received comments from us regarding the BMPs. I believe I passed some out to the chair upon my coming here tonight, which involves some items we were talking about. Secondary containment, the list includes documentation, site inspections, and basically for the board's information, as part of the MS4 program that the town is required to do for NJDEP. So it would include an inventory list, container labels, spill kits, bulk liquid storage, fueling operations, discharge stormwater from secondary containment, vehicle equipment maintenance and repair, and wastewater containment. So those would be something that, should the board look favorably upon the application, I would suggest that be a condition of approval, that those items are met. And also, I visited the site earlier this week, just another addition on the site work itself. The driveway access to the site, I spotted two inlets that aren't up to the MS4 standards with the N-Echo type heads, which basically are the curb pieces on top of the inlets. They appear to be bicycle-safe grading, but that keeps any floatables from entering into the stormwater system. I also had a question if there's going to be additional refurbishing of the striping and markings, the arrows within the site itself, and I believe we may hear some testimony from the owner. So I did have a question regarding, and I know with the number of plantings that were proposed, and the irrigation with that helps shield the neighboring adjoining properties from the site itself. But we want to make sure that the site is cleaned up. There was an old 1950s a vehicle that seemed to be abandoned there, first the student pickup truck, and I'm not sure if there's some of the buses that may not be registered on site, so that's some items that should also be reviewed.
Well, we recall way back in April, we had the public come out, and they had several comments that kind of line up with what you were saying, that the first student property is not in good shape. And many of them expressed, those same sentiments. So if we recall that up here, just want to make sure everyone remembers that we had that testimony from many members of the public. Board members, from Mr. Costa. Any questions, comments? And from members of the public, any questions for Mr. Acosta? Seeing none. All right. Thank you, Mr. Costa. Yes.
Thank you. My next witness, and hopefully my final witness, is Mr. Underdown.
Okay.
Has he testified?
Yes, he has.
You remain sworn, sir.
Yep. Sorry. Come over here if you would. Do you have the letter that we were just given? Just again, for the record, Mr. Underdown, who are you affiliated with and in what capacity?
My name is Kevin Underdown. I'm a senior project manager for Metro Environmental Services in charge of installing the tank at this property.
First and foremost, you just received a review letter from Boswell Engineering. Have you had an opportunity to review the recommendations made with respect to the tank, its installation, its best management practices for ongoing maintenance and the like? Are you able to say that we will be able to comply with these requirements?
Yes, this is standard operational procedures for us.
Okay, thank you very much. With respect to the other issues of safety and the tank itself, will the tank comply with any and all applicable requirements that apply to such above-ground tanks?
Yes, it will.
Okay. With respect to any other improvements that are required to the site, and I know that this may be on you, but is there any problem with the applicant complying with the other requirements that Mr. Morandi is looking for with respect to improved striping and the like to improve safety and circulation on the property?
No, we can do all that.
Is there anything else you want to add to your testimony, Mr. Underdown?
No, not this time.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further. Mr. Underdown is available for questions from the board and the professional.
Thank you. Professionals, questions or comments to Mr. Underdown?
I just like to comment that they stipulated on what I just indicated, so
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Leiden?
Mr. Rosenberg, this was not the expert who was going to testify about the tank? That's yet to come.
If you require additional information about the tank itself, I thought we covered that with Mr. Underdown. If you want, can you just please put in the record testimony about the specifics of the tank itself?
Well, actually, Mr. Rosenberg, I was
Yeah.
looking at more specifics concerning the hardening of the tank, as you suggested we might hear.
Okay, so Mr. Underdown, you heard the recommendations made by Mr. Lyden with respect to hardening around the tank.
Sure.
Can you just basically affirm that the applicant can do the hardening and the bollards and in-place concretized barriers that he's looking for to ensure, and I know where he's going, if a bus, an errant bus lost control, and to make sure that it would not impact the tank? Is the applicant prepared to provide all of those upgrades as required by Mr. Lyden?
Yes, we can do all of that.
Thank you. I have no
Yes.
further questions.
Mr. Morandi?
Yes,
Thank you.
and one additional question, and the the Costa Plan 2, sheet 6, has the blow up of that area that Mr. Lund was just referring to. My question indicates petroleum-resistant silicone sealer typical along the joint, and my question is the longevity of that, does that have to be replaced at a certain general interval time? I guess that's part of the inspection process as we move forward, but just some comment for the record for that point.
Thank you very much. Yes.
It'll just be, if necessary down the road, if any kind of wear and tear on it, then it would be replaced at an inspection request.
And what has your experience been with how long something like that would last? Thank you.
Generally speaking, it depends on the site itself. We've seen 10 years, 15, 20 years. It depends really, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn to the board now for questions or comments to Mr. Underdown.
I have one more, sorry.
That's okay.
In regards to the area where the tank is going to be, because it now is above ground, as a safety factor or whatever, would that require additional lighting than what is there existing already with the underground tanks?
We are contracted to install 2 area lights.
2 area lights?
Around the tank itself for more proper lighting.
Okay, is that above and beyond what's there now with the
Yes.
existing? It is. In your opinion, will that impact residents in the area?
I don't think so. No, they're LED low voltage lights. It's not like,
It's not.
it's not like huge, spotlights or anything.
Is it more concentrated in the area where the tank is, or is that going to illuminate the whole area in
No, it's
general?
really going to be more in the fueling area itself, the dispensers
Okay.
on that side, so that the bus drivers can see early in the morning and later at night.
So you don't see any reason to see that would impede on residents in the
I
area?
don't. If anything needed to be changed, we could change it.
Okay.
And that is something, Mr. Chairman, customarily that, applicants will agree to a 6-month period, a 3-month period, to work with representatives of the municipality if there is anything that needs to be done in the event there are any recommendations that, we will absolutely agree to that as a condition of any approval.
Mr. Morandi?
Yeah, thank you, and I was just going to point out that from Mr. Rosenberg with the duration that you could look at, give the condition that the board would review it or the engineer would review it within that time period. I didn't notice the location of that on the plan. Can you identify where that is? Is that on the Costa
Do you know where
plan?
those lights will be?
I don't have it. Not a revised set of drawings for that, no, I don't.
Maybe we could ask Mr. Costa if they're on his plan?
No, I don't think they are.
All right, so that's something for the board to note, that before any compliance review is done, those items should be located. And with the LEDs, there's cutoff for the lights. There's flat aspects of it. There's something called color temperature. It's measured in degrees Kelvin, the type, color of the lights. So that should all be reviewed by the building department, and if they need any other assistance. And height and protection of, what's the concrete base? Is it out of the area of where vehicles could hit it and the like? So that's not on the plan, and I think I heard them say that there would be 2 proposed?
2, yes.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Morandi. Back up here to the board, Mr. Coleman.
How many, I don't know who's capable of answering this, how many buses are on site?
Mr. Klein, I'm going to recall Mr. Klein, who
Remains one of them.
Mr. Klein has been, thank you, Kevin. Just state your name for the record. You've been previously sworn.
Yes. Michael Klein, first student.
And can you answer Mr. Coleman's question, please?
We have 81 buses on the site, currently operating.
Okay. And you're approved for how many? I know you had an agreement.
I believe 170 at one time.
Trips to refuel.
Trip.
They go out in the morning, fuels. They come back after they drop the kids off, do they fuel up again, or they fuel?
We fuel, we fuel in midday. So they'll go out, they'll pick up the kids, bring them to school. We'll come back, we'll top it off during that midday run, and then they'll go back out in the afternoon. So we fill up midday.
We top it off and they come back in?
We do not.
At the end of the day?
It's typically just that midday time that they do the fueling.
And presently, I see your buses are still at the Exxon station, number 17. Is that-
I believe so, yes.
As far as the neighbors, there's no complaints.
We haven't had any,
I know they were pretty.
they were pretty harsh the first time we came in here, and we have a new location manager there on site, who's been there about, I think she's been there about a year now, maybe a year and a half. No, just about a year, I think. And she's come in and she's cleaned up the entire site.
But Mr. Morandi said he was just there, and there was, you know, an old 1950s car there.
And I don't know if there's an old 1950s car there. I wasn't there today.
Okay.
But I can ask about that said
But
car.
generally, you
But
agree
gen-
that a condition will be absolutely maintain the property.
That is correct. Correct.
Well, of course, we always ask everyone that,
Yeah.
but, you know, does it happen? That's the question.
I think, Mr. Klein, you would agree that since we were here the first time in April, that you've made all efforts to try to clean up the site on an ongoing basis. Is that fair to say?
It has been cleaned up dramatically, yes. And we will continue to do so.
I don't mean to interrupt, Mr. Coleman. Please continue. I'm sorry. Sean, could you move your mic so Mr. Coleman can be picked up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, no, like, tilt it toward him, like, not toward you.
Have you done a worse scenario on this site? God forbid, explosion, leakage, one bus catches fire, another one catches fire, the houses. Have you done a worse scenario and an emergency plan for that?
We haven't in this particular scenario, but we do have standard operating procedures that call for what were to happen if things were to get out of hand with a leak, so to speak, on the fuel tank.
Do you have any other areas where you store your buses in Bergen County?
I know we have several locations throughout New Jersey and throughout the country. We have over 900 facilities. So at the top of my head, I don't know where the other ones within this area are.
Where I'm getting at is, do they have fueling stations within their boundaries?
They do. Yes,
All
they
of
do. Not all of them. It's a mixed bag. Sometimes we do have above ground, sometimes we have below ground, sometimes we just purchase from retail centers.
My concern is you have residents on both sides, you're right in the middle, so, you know, I wondered if you did any emergency plan or anything as far as...
We have not.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, yes.
Just two quick questions. Sure. Just to piggyback on what Mr. Coleman said. All these school buses, the 81 of them, are they all the same size?
I believe, I don't know the breakdown, but some of them are type Cs and some of them are type As. Type Cs are the bigger buses, type As are the smaller buses.
And do they all use diesel fuel? Are there?
There's a mixture. There is some diesel, some gasoline on the site. Or that operate from the site.
Do you know just the ratio of, again, maybe I listed the ratio of, and again.
I don't, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't know the ratio to that.
Thank you.
I have a question about, I know the state of New Jersey is pushing electric buses. Any plans for First Student to go in that direction? And we're talking about environmental issues, and obviously clean buses like that would be ideal. That would require EV chargers installed on a site that could potentially have a diesel gas tank on it as well. Any direction about that? I know the state of New Jersey's given out money, or they have grants or tax credits for companies that go electric.
We are the largest EV school bus provider in the nation, and we are moving forward to an all-EV fleet. At this point in time, this particular site is not listed as a grant-funded project, so this will not be EV provided in the near future, no.
Okay. Why is it not a site that's provided the grant, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Smith, go ahead.
I was just doing a little research, and I'm glad Mr. Warren asked that. There's less than 1% of New Jersey school buses are run on electric, and less than 2% in the United States.
That's pretty close to what the ratios are at this point in time.
You must be
Because the utilities just don't have enough electric to get to our chargers.
Along with powering the AI.
Oh, yeah, well, we have to get those data centers up. All right, from the public, any questions for, your name again, sir?
Michael Klein.
Michael Klein. Any questions for Michael Klein? All right, seeing none. Anyone else up here? No? Okay, thank you, Mr. Klein.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Klein. Mr. Chairman, I have no further witnesses. I just would like the opportunity to sum up.
Yes,
if I
please.
may.
Before you do
Yes.
that, so Mr. Leiden, I'd like to swear you in for this portion. I just have some questions about inherently beneficial. Do you swear affirm the testimony about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be God?
Yes, I do.
All right, just please state your name, your address, and you are the board's planner, right?
Yes, Steve Lydon, Lydon, board planner. I'm employed by Burgess Associates and have for the last 25 years or so.
So we know that Scholastic Bus was indeed found, was indeed found to be inherently beneficial.
That is
Even
correct.
though it's a place to store buses.
I think there's also Rolfe in Emerson with a second case.
Could be, but I'm not familiar with that one. I am very familiar with Scholastic. The location of Scholastic was far removed from residences. In fact, I'm very familiar with the site. And in fact, the court had remanded the case because the board was concerned about the very steep egress.
Yep.
And it was shared with a cement company, and they were concerned about sight lines. How is this, I guess I'm going to ask you, is this site inherently beneficial, or is this use inherently beneficial? I mean, that was a pretty specific case as to why.
It was, Mr. Mandela, and it was also, as you mentioned, a site with some pretty specific constraints to it, both operational, being shared with the concrete company, and environmental, considering the slope, and it came down to a pretty busy road.
How's this site different?
It really isn't, in the sense that it doesn't have some of the environmental constraints. It does have some man-made constraints, and that is that it's ringed on two sides by single-family dwellings. But as I analyze the inherently beneficial cases, they don't say sites are inherently beneficial. They talk about uses.
Yes.
And the use, whether one likes it or not, the use is pretty much identical to the one that's the Scholastic case was.
So that second case you referred to, was that near, I mean, I think there's an apartment complex here. Yeah. Was that second case similar to Scholastic or similar to this particular application? As far as residences and...
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it bordered on residential uses on at least one side. There may have been another side that was in the industrial side there, section of Emerson, but I do believe it bordered on a residential site. I also believe it was fairly flat, so it didn't have the slope that the Scholastic case had. But even beyond that, it was the use, and the judge in that case, if I can go on a little bit longer, positioned that, well, schools are inherently beneficial, and schools need students in order to function. And so therefore, the need of providing transportation, which if you live far enough away from school, it's mandatory, must be inherently beneficial to get the students into the classroom safely. So it seems on its first blush that a school bus yard doesn't really deserve the protection of the inherently beneficial designation, but A, the courts have already done it, and it does, when you think about it a little bit deeper, maybe there is some rationale that does make it allowable as an inherently beneficial use. So I would say, yes, this is an inherently...
Okay, I got it. Yes, are there any cases where the bus storage was indeed, the use, was indeed found to be inherently beneficial, and they had gas tanks there?
I did not go that deep into it,
Okay.
but as a first blush, I would say the gas tank is an accessory use. And generally, accessory uses don't get the distinction of being inherently beneficial or not. That's usually the primary or the principal use.
Interesting. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lyman.
You're welcome.
Did you want to?
No,
I think he helped you.
Look, I have the case in front of me. So this is what the appellate division said.
Which one, Scholastic?
This is Scholastic.
I don't need that, but you want to put it in the record?
It's Scholastic operates a bus business for the transportation of school children, fulfilling the public obligation to transport school children. See New Jersey Constitution, 1947, Article 8. And it goes, by the way, the appellate division went on to say, Mr. Mondello, a school bus facility is a use necessarily accessory to the school buildings themselves. So again, I think to follow up on this, our position is that it's inherently beneficial in its totality. I think we've established beyond any doubt that fueling has occurred on this property since it was inception as a school bus facility, and therefore we believe that it's inherently beneficial, including the dispensing of fuel as we're proposing to continue and do above ground. That's our proffer, Mr. Mondello.
Fair enough. You want to sum up for the board?
That may work.
For comments, did you do that? Did I miss that?
No, I mean, we don't...
Can I just ask one?
Yeah, just Mr. Matz again.
I'm just confused because you're currently not fueling and business is still happening and you're still providing buses for the schools. So I'm not understanding how everything that was explained with the Scholastic case has anything to do with what we're deciding.
Because we're asking about whether or not the use is inherently beneficial to justify the on-site fueling. That's the reason why.
I know, I'm still confused though, because I feel like you guys are talking about a bus depot or whatever it's worded as, and we're talking about a gas tank.
Well, we're talking about the uses themselves and that service that use.
But I didn't hear anybody say, oh, we have this service use, yada, yada, gas tank, and this is the ruling for a gas tank.
Mr. Mondello asked about
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm looking for clarification, because
I understand.
It's like the bus, first student already exists. We're talking about the gas.
And we're trying just to continue that which has always existed on the property.
All right. And my only last question is, why did you take the gas tanks out?
Because they wanted to be above ground. The owner wants them above ground, Mr. Massey.
Okay.
For all the reasons that Mr. Bud said. It's a better alternative. You don't want your tanks below ground.
I have one more question, I'm sorry. The process of refueling, with these tanks that are above ground now, will it be many more buses that are going to be refueled than it was prior when they were underground? Is it going to increase volume a lot?
Mr. Klein, did you come back up? You were previously sworn, you need to have your rest, you can't testify from the peanut gallery. So answer board member Camille's question, please, if you would.
Sure. So we will have fuel truck deliveries
every other week.
Okay.
So, and these are the smaller fuel delivery trucks, not the big tanker trucks that come in.
Thank you.
That's good. One other question real quick. The barriers, the Jersey barriers you said, what's the height of those?
We believe they're 4 feet.
Okay.
Again, as we indicated, we'll be working with the engineer. and the building
And the reason for my question with that is some of these buses, and, you know, pardon my lack of knowledge about this, but I know some of the big buses have pretty large tires. And when I hear about a barrier being only that close to the tank, only 6 inches, how high did you say you think the barrier is about? Because the wheels of a bus are pretty high, and God forbid somebody comes plowing through, I would think those barriers, you can go over it if it's a big enough wheelbase.
It's 32 inches. There's a detail on the plan that was shown, it's 32 inches.
32 inches for the barrier?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's actually embedded in concrete, so there is a footing.
Does anybody know how big the wheels are on a large school bus? I'm just curious. The reason being, I'm just envisioning in my head, God forbid there was some kind of an accident, would a bus at a speed, I don't know how much it can get speed in an area of that, could it overcome the barrier?
I think we've indicated that we'll be working with the planner and the engineer to ensure the adequacy and the safety of whatever barriers they deem necessary, including the height.
And they could move it for a distance, so
Yes,
if the 6
absolutely.
inches was too close?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Very quickly, Mr. Klein.
Yes.
So, Mr. Lyon spoke that perhaps filling the gas tanks and the filling of the buses with gas may be an accessory. What is the impetus? What is the drive? What is the motivation to have those gas tanks there? I mean, I'm guessing part of the reason may be financial. It's a lot less expensive versus going to the gas station down the block. Would that be accurate?
Well, fueling is always cheaper, and wet hosing is not allowed.
But there must be other reasons. Do you know what they are?
Having an above-ground tank or having a fueling tank on site is just, it's a financial win for us, but it is also, it keeps control of the fueling on site, where we don't have our employees going out to different retail centers and fueling up there and causing additional traffic within the fueling stations. So we can better curtail and manage fueling operations if it's on our site.
Thank you.
One quick question. We had talked before that some of you had some diesel buses and some.
Correct. Yes.
You'll still have to utilize that side, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Question.
Yes, Mr. Coleman.
No buses outside of your storage yard will use your facility.
No, it's only for first student.
And just to go back on a question that you had, Mr. Smith, I totally had some brain blockage there. Lincoln Park and Englewood are two local facilities. In fact, Lincoln Park is a site that, I believe it's a 10,000 gallon above ground tank that we have there.
Where in Englewood is that located?
On Glen.
Grand. Where, because Grand that's a commercial area.
Yeah.
It's on, I have to look at the planning board engineer there, but it's actually on Grand. So you have commercial, you do have residential on the opposite side.
But yeah, so it's on that, it's on the commercial side.
It's not deep into the industrial, but it's right, it's on the main track as you head towards Route 4 on the right.
I grew up in Fort Lane. Thanks.
Makes sense.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Last question.
Yes, Ms. Muller.
I kind of agree with Andrew down there about, the site already provides transportation for the students, and it's inherently beneficial as it is. So, yeah, I'm a little confused. It's sort of like it's needs versus wants. It's nice, it's easy for you.
Yeah, no one is suggesting that the storage of vehicles is inherently beneficial, but adding gas tanks is an accessory, and we've heard it's a primary financial issue.
Right. And I'm still, you had said that the truck that will fill the tanks come every other week, but I'm still concerned with the smaller buses that you said fill up every day, I guess after their morning rounds, and you've got 81 buses, and you don't know how many actually will be using it, but is there gonna be like a continuous procession of buses at noon lined up in there, waiting to fill up, or they come willy-nilly in?
Yeah, hold on, Mr. Klein, you can come back, please, and answer board members' reports. Question about the procession of vehicles and the parade of horribles with them.
You better set up a cop.
You know, that's okay.
So as of right now, I don't believe it's causing any issues as it stands today. And we're purchasing retail fuel right now. So without me not fully understanding what the ratio of this particular fleet is, it won't be any worse than it is today.
But they're just leaving when they go in the morning and come back, and, you know, they're not sitting there, they're not lined up to fill up at a tank every day, right? They just leave and come back, and that's the end of it. Every day, the buses now.
They will leave and they'll come back to fuel.
No, but I meant right now, they just go and leave, and then they come back and they're done.
There's no fueling happening on the site.
There's no fueling, they just go, come, they're
Correct.
done. Now they'll be lined up, maybe, in the midday, waiting to fill up.
Well, I mean, Mr. Klein, before the tanks were removed from the site, were there any problems whatsoever with buses fueling on the site?
No,
Any backups? Any?
there was never backups onto the street.
Right, but those tanks, wait, hold on, sorry. But those tanks were underground. All you had was the dispenser above ground. Now you have the entire apparatus above ground, displacing space now on your property. So I don't want to say it's apples to apples, Mr. Rosenberg. It's not. In the pictures here, the dispenser is this little tiny thing next to the building. The one you want to put is right in the middle of the lot, right? As we see in Mr. Costa's plans there, with the tank above ground, all the protection around it. So we don't know exactly if it's going to be the way you say it's going to be, just because that's the way it used to be. Does that make any sense?
Not necessarily, because the fueling operation will remain the same.
Like, how can it remain the same when just the dispenser is above ground in the old way? In the new way, the entire apparatus is above ground.
Because you're dispensing fuel the same way you would dispense a fuel if it was underground.
But you could drive up. If it was underground, you couldn't drive over.
You could drive over
Right.
where the tank is, yes.
Because it's above ground now.
Yes, you could. You could, yes.
Okay, so there's a difference.
There is partial area that cannot be occupied
Right.
by bus or bus movements because of the tank being
Okay,
above ground.
and the other protectionary stuff you have listed there.
That's correct.
Okay. Bruce, real quick. Yeah, so we know that from Mr. Hunt's testimony, the tanks were removed February 2023. And, you know, here we are, November 2025. Why didn't they keep the tanks in the ground and then come for this application? So that you didn't have to send all these buses to other gas stations? Not clear.
Keep the tanks underground when?
So the tanks were removed February 2023. We're sitting here, it's November 2025. I guess what I'm saying is, why didn't the tanks stay in the ground and then, you know, do this application? You could have avoided having all those buses go to different gas stations, et cetera.
We had no
I mean, it
control.
almost, yeah, go ahead.
We had no control of what the owner's timing of the removal of the tanks was, Mr. Mondale.
And we had the building permit approved. We were about to break ground.
Oh, so you recently bought this property?
No, as the tenant.
Well, then you did have control over when.
No, the owner controls the tanks, Mr. Mondale.
So the tenant couldn't go to the owner and say, hey, I'm spending a lot more money on going to these 25 gas stations, leave the tanks in the ground until I get this approval, and then, okay.
That's not the way it was.
All right.
Not the way it was.
I mean, I'm not suggesting that use was abandoned, but it's, I guess, somewhat suspect.
Can I just ask a question related to that?
Hold on.
Just to piggyback off that conversation, you just said the owner of the property had a permit in place to remove the tank and install a new tank?
No, the owner of the property had the permits to remove the tank.
Okay.
then applied in 2024
Okay.
to put the tanks above.
Okay.
We had approval for Rochelle Park from the building department. We have the tank actually on site. The tank is on site. It's been on site since that time. We began the installation and the zoning officer said, stop work. You need to go to the board.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
And that's exactly why we had to file.
Okay, so if it had worked ideally for you and the company,
It would have been
worked
seamless.
congruently, and you would have
It would have been
installed this
seamless.
above ground tank and your service would not
Yes,
have halted
it would have been seamless.
for that year and a half.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for the confusion.
No, that's okay. No, you're good, thank you.
All right, Mr. Klein, I guess we're good again?
Thank you.
Just in the smaller, yes.
Fine.
Oh.
I just wanted to get back real quick to the plantings, the bushes. Did you decide on the leylands or the arborvitaes? Who is this?
Mr. Costa, or we?
Mr.
The
Costa?
deer decided.
Whatever the board, we're happy to do.
Mr. Mattson?
Can I comment?
Wait.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Muller, continue.
And one other thing, I thought we brought up at some point that, I don't know if it was our professionals that said that when you're doing plantings, you should zigzag them, like this, because if you're planting these 5 or 6 feet apart, it's gonna take a while for them to fill in. Now, I know arborvitaes, and I have them, everything's great, but, you know, they go shooting up, but there's still gonna be a lot of space between them for a little bit, so wasn't that brought up somewhere about zigzagging these?
Certainly, you can stagger them. On the one side, we are staggering. You can
Okay.
stagger them on the other side. You can plant them a little closer.
We don't have to plant
You can
close.
put seasonal plantings in. I would, as being Italian origin, tomatoes and positive gold would work in the summer without season. If you can do more, we can add more. Certainly, again, working with the board, the professionals, the whole idea is quality and quantity. And to achieve the purpose, to screen out the buses, obviously, that have been in view for many, many, many years. I represented this company when I actually had hair. We can add more, and again, if there isn't enough based on what we're proposing, we'll certainly add more to whoever wants to tell us this did not achieve the purpose of screening out this, at this location.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mattson?
Is it possible for them to sit with the Shade Tree Commission to do landscaping discussions?
I mean, at this point, Mr. Rosenberg has said they will rebuild ancient Rome to get this
Yes.
approved.
We're happy to meet with the
Yeah.
Shade Tree Commission.
Yeah, who's
As a
this?
condition.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have more hair than I do.
Yeah.
And then one question for Ron, I forgot to ask this, that paperwork from, I know the guy's gone on the video, but there was that January 1st, 1951
Great.
date.
So,
Whatever the year, that got added afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I have to ask the question, that got added afterwards, is that like, they went like a week ago and added it, or 1960 it was added, or 1995?
Well, he testified that it was during that year, sometime, whether it was January, February, March, April, May, June, he doesn't know, but he testified that it was his understanding that it would have been during that year. Yeah, it's a bit incredulous to assume that the tanks were installed on January 1st, 1951. Yes, we know that.
Okay.
But his testimony was that it was during that year. Otherwise, the DEP would not put 1953 or 51, forgive me. 53, thank you.
Thank you.
There.
We just don't know when the prohibiting ordinance came into effect.
so Michael.
You don't.
If you look in the closet in the office over there, I believe that the township meeting minutes from 1922 to 1974 are there.
All right.
That's a lot of review.
A lot of review.
Well, we know what year it is, though.
That's true.
It has to be sometime around there, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to,
That's ridiculous.
yeah.
So did you file an Oprah request, Mr. Rosenberg?
I thought I had it.
Okay.
All right. Yes, Mr. Lyden.
Mr. Chairman, I know you're going to ask, but I'll say it anyway. And this kind of gets on to what some of the board members meetings are. We're reviewing the whole site.
Yes.
And a lot of attention to detail, especially tonight, has been on the dispensing, historical use of the property, and the tank, and the assembly around the tank. But the whole site's before the board.
In fact, Scholastic said don't ever bifurcate such an application, so.
Yeah. Okay. So, and they are seeking site plan approval. It seems to me there are two kinds of issues with this type of an application. One of them is what the pre-drawings that Mr. Costa prepared and the board will take a vote on, and the other thing is what really happens in the field. And with no attack on Mr. Rosenberg or his client, oftentimes when people are parking buses, they either get a little bit lazy or they're a little bit of a rush. And if you look at the aerial photo that, first, if you look at drawing 2 of 6, it shows you on the north side of the property where the edge of pavement is, on both sides of the building. It's a narrow little line, but it's visible, if your eyesight's better than mine. And what strikes me as I look at sheet 3 of 6, which is the other photo, it seems like in more than 1 or 2 cases, and the aerial photo actually shows the edge of pavement, buses extend beyond the edge of pavement. And regardless, the edge of pavement, you don't see it?
I see it. Oh, I'm saying I see it.
So, the concerns of the public, and I know they're not here tonight, is more than just whether there's a tank on the property and whether or not it's above ground or below ground. It's the entire operation. So, I look at the site, and I have not discussed this with Mr. Rosenberg, so if he pulls out a gun and shoots me, that's why. I think the board might want to consider establishment of a suitably sized buffer along the north side of this property. And so, assuming that's a reasonable request, you say, well, what's the appropriate width? Widths usually come down to the size of the property, in which case it's 216 feet. It also comes down to what makes sense on-site. The building is 25.12 feet from the property line on one side and 24.2 feet on the other. Let's call it a day and say 25 feet. I would recommend to the board that if the board is going to do this application, a buffer of 25 feet be established along that northern property line. And because it's a buffer, I suggest that the pavement that's in that area, and I don't believe it's a lot of pavement, should be eliminated. And that you would have a landscaped and grass buffer area. And I also think, quite frankly, and I know fences are often touchy subjects, I would think an 8-foot-high PVC fence in that buffer would also be an appropriate condition of approval if the board sees fit to grant the approval. It's related to the site because this is what the site does. It is in a residential zone. It borders a single-family neighborhood. I think in this case that is an appropriate response, would be an appropriate response of the board to an approval.
And you're just pointing out the north side of the property, any other areas or just that area for you?
Well, I knew that would come up, Mr. Chairman, and as I looked at the drawings that Mr. Costa provided last week or the week before, it seems like, because that's where the building is oriented towards, that's where the majority of buses are parked, along the north side. There are some along the south side, but generally, those are further to the Route 17 side of the site, and there's a commercial building back there. So I don't think those buses, and I don't live in this neighborhood, I don't think those buses necessarily are placed in issues with the site operations. But I think along the north property line, with all those homeowners, I think that would be an appropriate response by the board, if the board is going to approve the application.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Lyden.
Can I just ask a quick
Yes,
question?
please.
You say the north side, and forgive me for being a layman, do you mean the Central Avenue side or the opposite side? The Central Avenue
Central
side?
Avenue side,
Thank
yes. And thank you for that question.
That's, we're not.
And you're north, south, east, west, south.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I figured, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morandi.
Mr. Chairman, just to follow up on the question on landscaping from the board member, my recommendation is if they do go with the cypress, that they're staggered, and if it is the arborvitaes, I typically don't have a problem with them in a straight line. However, if they go by Mr. Leiden's recommendation for a buffer area, then that's something someone brought up the Shade Tree Commission that makes sense for them to review it.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Okay, yes, Ms. Muller.
Can I ask you a question? Do we have an ordinance about like off-street parking as far as like, do they have to have lines, where the parking, striping for their buses?
I think you said they were gonna take care of that.
All over the whole, Did they say that?
Mr. Rosenberg.
Spaces, are they all?
Mr. Rosenberg, I have a question up here from Ms. Muller.
You have 80-something buses or 81 buses. Do they each have their own parking lot? Is it striped?
Their own space?
Yes.
Brian, you have to come up.
Yeah.
Again, sorry. Get it in the record, please.
Yes, they typically park in their own dedicated space.
How they do?
It's not striped.
Is it striped though?
Yes,
It is?
if not the whole entire site is striped,
It
yes.
is? Okay, thank you.
Just from my observations earlier this week, where the pavement is, there's striping. I did ask for it to be refurbished, which they stipulated to. And I don't recall seeing striping where the gravelled area is towards the back of the site.
Yeah, the striping may have washed away on the gravel, but of course, we would have striped it at one time, yes.
Ms. Muller, is that good? Any more questions? Thank you. Anyone else up here? Comments, questions? I'm seeing none. All right, thank you. Ms. Rosenberg, did you want to sum up? Did we get that? Did we get there or no?
No, we cut them off.
We did cut you off, yes. Go ahead.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. We've been here, as you know, for several months. We have tried to address the comments, concerns that we've heard from members of the board, from members of the public. I think that the application has evolved since we first came in April. I think that we have tried to improve the application with the assistance of members of the board, together with your professionals since that time. I believe that this application can be approved by the board. I think that we've tried to address any and all of the questions that you've raised with respect to the adjoining members of the public, any issues having to do with circulation and the like. This evening, we had additional recommendations from your board professionals. You've heard the applicant's commitment to ensure that any additional improvements are made to make sure that the site is efficient and safe, as well as not having any negative impacts whatsoever with respect to any adjoining property owners. As I've indicated, this is inherently beneficial. It serves the public. It serves the children. And being able to continue that use and have fueling on site is all part and parcel of that inherently beneficial use. And for all those reasons, Mr. Chairman, we would ask for the board's approval of the application this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenberg. Ms. Wendell, any comments?
I don't have any.
No? Okay. All right, board. We're looking for either an approval or a denial of this application, and we need a motion and a second for either one.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, Mr. Coleman, what is your motion?
First student is inherently beneficial. Granted, it's a non-conforming use for that property to begin with. And I feel that this tank would be an accessory to the non-conformity. And because of that, I believe first student can function without a gas tank, and I'm going to make a motion to deny this application.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. I will second that motion, Mr. Coleman. On the same principles that you mentioned, it's now time for a roll call. So just to remind the board up here, a yes for denial and a no for no denial. So just remember how to vote if you would like to deny this application. Michaela?
Chairperson Warren,
Yes, to deny.
Vice Chairman Mattson,
Yes.
Member Coleman,
Yes.
Member Dudio,
Yes.
Member Holtz,
Yes.
Member Mueller,
Yes.
Alternate Smith,
Yes.
Alternate Gandira,
Yes.
and Alternate Mazzone.
Yes. Thank you very much, members of the board.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Mr.
for your
Rosenberg.
time.
We appreciate your time and effort. Thank you very much
Fine
for...
job, Mr. Rosenberg.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Chairman,
yes.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to speak out of turn again.
Mr. Lyden?
I believe 9 members voted, but the board should only be having 7 members vote, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that is correct.
So
And this,
I would-
we
We
have,
have to scratch the alternates.
Well,
The alternates,
I would
yes.
suggest for clarity,
Revote?
that the board take a revote.
you got it, Mr. Lyden.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do have a fill-in clerk tonight.
I don't-
Michaela's doing a great job, so.
She is, and I don't mean
She
to,
is.
you
So
know.
we're gonna, so the
So take
motion was to deny Mr. Coleman.
Motions, you second.
I second it. We're gonna re-vote
Okay,
on the same grounds.
okay, and then we'll just take off the last.
Correct. I'll take up those last two. Okay, go
So,
ahead, Michaela.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Mattson,
Yes.
Member Coleman,
Yes.
Member Dudio,
Yes.
Member Holtz,
Yes.
Member Mueller, and Alternate Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lyden. Mr. Rosenberg, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Mr. Lyden.
Would this board like a 5-minute recess for bathroom before we continue? Yeah, so, 5-minute recess. Okay, we are reopening the public meeting of the Rochelle Park Land Use Board, after our brief recess. While we get to new business, which is Duke Realty, they're setting up right now. This is a hearing to, last meeting we carried over their request for an extension. Last meeting, Mr. Kohut came, which represented Duke Realty. I see tonight they brought an army of people. I'm going to be very frank with you guys. Mr. Kohut did not impress. Mr. Kohut came here and basically told this board that Duke Realty forgot to file extensions in 2024 and 2025, but we should get over it. Because that happens. And it was, quite frankly, very childish behavior. He actually stormed out of here before we voted to carry over to this meeting. So I'm not surprised he's not here tonight. I'm not crazy about that kind of attitude where you guys represent multi-million-dollar people, clients, etc., coming to a small town like Rochelle Park and just telling us this is how it goes and you have to just do this for us. So I can see they brought you guys here tonight. Just want to tell you what the steep hill you have to climb because of Mr. Kohut. So without further ado, you can watch the video online if you'd like, if you missed the meeting last month. But that was my little introduction. So without further ado, you guys can introduce yourselves. The microphone is a little saggy. You can use that microphone too, so.
Well, I will confess that I have not taken the time to look at the audio or the video. I'm okay, thank you. Of last month's meeting. I hear your concerns articulated. What can I say? We do things differently.
You got it.
All right. My name is Jim Jaworski, Wells Jaworski and Liebman, Paramus, New Jersey. Here on behalf of, and I'm going to read it because it's changed, Duke Realty Maywood Avenue Development LLC. That comes out of the original applicant, which was Duke Realty. Duke was acquired toward the end of the approval process by the folks you see behind me from Prologis, which is a much larger company than Duke in terms of the warehouse environment. I brought with me, to give you a feel for the severity of this application tonight, the Director of Development, Mr. Mike Zimmerman, and the person responsible for the project on a day-to-day basis, the Development Manager, Mr. Miles Lenetz. Also with me is the engineer who was the principal civil in the context of procuring the approval from your board back in 2023, Amir Sharifi. Yes? Amin Sharifi, correct? On the last name? I was so focused on the last name, I didn't look at the first name. I apologize. Anyway, we're here to answer any questions you might have, but I'd just like to make a couple of comments briefly in regard to the application that we're asking for. This is your block 1702, lot 1. The project itself is on in excess of 27 acres, but the Rochelle Park component of that is less than a half an acre. So it's kind of the tail wagging the dog, if you will. But that's not to say this is not an important component of a very, very important application to these Prologis folks. You provide the access to the site. Not an inconsequential thing. I would think your tax assessor is going to make a big deal out of that at some point in time. Notwithstanding it's only half an acre, you provide access to what is a 380,000 square foot warehouse that's going to be built on this site. And I would share with you that Prologis has a plan to, they've already started construction, by the way, if you haven't noticed. We have some pictures we can show you to that effect.
But if you could show that to us, that would be very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've been doing some grading on the site. There are 2 copies of this distributed.
Thank you.
There's 3 photographs here, Mr. Mandela, that I'd like to mark A1 for identification. We can do 1, 2, and 3, or A, B, and C if you like.
1, 2, and 3 is fine, Jim.
All right. Yeah, I've brought enough for everybody. It shows you the grading work that's been ongoing for a while on the site. Now, this is mostly with respect to the Maywood portion of this. But as Maywood goes, so goes Rochelle Park. We've already appeared before. Fingers do not work. We've already appeared before the Maywood board. And asked them to extend the time frame for our approval, and they have unanimously approved that request.
While you're passing them out, I also want to interject. Part of the reason why we asked Mr. Kohut to go into more depth last meeting is because I am the only remaining board member from the 2023 application. Everyone up here did not hear that application. So, in that discussion with Mr. Kohut, I tried to explain to him that we have a new land use board, different than the zoning board from 2023, and that essentially we had people up here who may have had questions. I also expressed to Mr. Kohut through email that I wanted to see the owner come as well to explain what's going on there, and I see you brought some other people, Mr. Jaworski, Zimmerman from Prologis. Is here, which no one was here last meeting. So I want to give you some context here as to why this might be a little more than just asking for an extension, because we do have new people.
We'll put it behind us.
Yeah.
We'll put it behind us. Listen, I looked at the resolution that you guys adopted back in 2023. I saw Mr. Dudia, and you were the only 2 members of the board back then.
Yes.
So I understand. There's a lot of new faces here, and you're being asked to vote on something that nobody here has seen before, except for you, Mr. Chairman.
Correct.
Because Mr. Dudia has stepped away.
Correct.
He was a client at some point in past lives.
That's proven.
Anyway, so the second thing I wanted to mark was that resolution I was just talking about, and we should mark this A2.
Well, didn't we do A1, 2, and 3 on the picture? So this would be 4, and I've got my own copy.
This is the Borough Maywood Planning Board calendar.
Oh, sorry.
2021-11. This is their resolution approving the extension request that was just adopted last Thursday night.
So Jim, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Did you want to mark our resolution as A4, this board's? No, okay, sorry. Sorry, okay. It's the Maywood as A4, gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You guys, I assume, have a copy of your resolution that's already in the record?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So we've marked those two exhibits. I gave my list. I'm gonna take it back later. Okay. Take it back later. You can have it for the time being. So we've given you pictures of what's been ongoing there over a prolonged period of time, to be perfectly honest. And the most important thing here is, I would call your attention to section 49 of the land use law, which talks about, subpart F, says, the planning board shall grant an extension of preliminary approval. I'm skipping ahead. Because of delays in.
What section, Jim? 40 colon?
55D-49.
Thank you.
Sub F.
Thank you.
Because of delays, and well, the operative term is the planning board shall grant an extension, or because of delays in obtaining legally required approvals from other governmental entities. I would tell you that these guys have been diligently chasing approvals from both DOT and DEP since 2023. They have just in early September secured a minor amendment to a DEP approval. I do not plan to mark that now, but we can provide you with specific testimony in that regard. The permit amendment was dated September 2, 2025. I can also tell you that there are ongoing discussions with DOT with regard to some right-of-way improvements that are going to be done. And there have been meetings as recently as this past week.
Jim, so that I understand, that
Yes, sir.
section that you referred to, that is specific to the site plan, doesn't speak to the ordinances, I'm sorry, it doesn't speak to the variances that were sought by the
Understood.
board. Is that right?
Understood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just clarifying so that everybody understands as well.
Yeah. The bottom line is they have been diligent in chasing other agency approvals. They are at the point where they think they now have all of those approvals, but for some issues with laying cable that DOT and they are talking about now. But that's going to be done probably in the next 3 to 6 months, assuming the World Cup doesn't get in the way. Nothing's going to be done along DOT right away when the World Cup is in town, for obvious reasons. So that could potentially delay it a little bit more. But beyond that, they are looking at a start of conventional construction in the second quarter of 2026, so spring. The building permit is ready to be pulled in Maywood. The only thing that's holding that up is a very large check for that permit. And they expect and have on their books to complete this project by the second or third quarter of 2027. So it's a year-long project, essentially.
Quick question for you, Jim, and maybe Steve as well. And forgive me, this is my first go-around with a combined board. So this resolution speaks to a D1 variance and a C2. We got the mayor and a council person sitting up here. I know it's just for an extension. It's not for the approval of a D1 or a C2 and a C2. But do they need to recuse themselves? And forgive me, I have not had much experience with a combined board. Your opinion first, sir.
As a belt and suspenders type individual, once a use variance, always a use variance. I understand it's not an approval. I understand Mr. Jaworski may disagree with me, but I think out of abundance of caution, I would think the councilman and the mayor might want to have an early evening.
Forgive me, Mayor, and forgive me, Councilman. I missed that. So thank you. Jim,
The use variance and the bulk variances were granted in the January 2023 resolution. There's no aspect of this application that opens that back up. I think it's just an application to extend the prior approvals. I'm not going to fight with you or your expert in regard to your determination on that, but I really think that the mayor and the council person can stay.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. I do want to point out, though, in the Maywood resolution that you gave us, it does have the mayor, Richard Brolin, not qualified to vote. At least that person I know on the Maywood one.
His designee was there, and she did, in fact, vote.
No, she wasn't actually, she was absent.
I was at the meeting.
It says absent on here. Mayor's
Oh,
designee, Jacqueline
maybe
DeMora.
maybe on adopting the resolution, but she voted on the actual application.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jim. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. I'll wait a minute while.
Yeah, we have, Lou.
How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3.
Lou's coming back up.
This is an exciting evening for Lou. He doesn't usually get to sit up here.
I've watched him move a couple times.
It just escaped me, I'm sorry, yeah.
Thank you, man.
No, I take it for the donuts. And
Good night.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thanks for your time, guys.
They only came for the coffee and the donuts.
Oh,
I don't know where his name is.
oh, you do? Great.
We have 7.
Whenever you're ready.
He's Lou, yes.
She never changed.
We have to find it. There we go. Okay. We have 8 people. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so going back to the fact that you're the only board member who was here at the time the original application was approved, we brought our civil, who was the presenter at that time, who can talk you through what is a pretty narrow parameters of the application in progress.
I mean, it's clear as day how I voted on the original resolution.
Yes, it is.
So I would like, if anyone else up here has questions or comments for the gentleman that you want to bring up,
We're happy to,
that's fine with me.
we're happy to, why don't you do that? Why don't we get you up here for
All right, good evening, sir. Once you get settled, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
sure. My name is Amin Sharifi, last name spelled Sharifi, graduate of NJIT from 2013. Project manager at Boulder Engineering, located at 30 Independence Boulevard, Suite 200 in Warren, New Jersey.
And you're offering him as an expert in the field of engineering?
civil engineer.
Okay. Could you just briefly tell the board your credentials, and have you testified before any boards in Bergen County before?
Yes, I've testified before this board and MAWA as well.
You testified
And
here?
in fact, you were the civil engineer who testified in support of the original approval of this same application.
That's correct.
I don't see his name here, but that's because I'm getting old and the Medicare folks are hounding me.
The only name I saw in there was Mr. Coas.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as far as an engineer, I see,
Yes, at this
Mr.
point, you should redact that.
I see Mr. Carter, I see,
Yes.
Keenan
John
Hughes.
Barry, well, he was right, Mr. Pinto testified, Keenan Hughes was the,
We had Mr. Harder from Atlantic Craftsman.
yeah.
We had the whole deal.
When did you testify here? Forgive me.
I believe it was January of 2022.
So it was on this application? I did not capture you in here. That's pretty unusual for me. Okay.
Yeah, I brought my outline for
Why don't we
that
do
hearing
this?
as well.
Why don't we do this?
Well, you're accepted. He's accepted.
He's testified, he's been accepted, he's testified that he was here,
Yeah.
regardless of whether he's called off in the resolution or not. Our testimony is
Yeah,
that
sure.
he was our civil.
Yep, any objection from the board members accepting this individual as an expert in the field of civil engineering? Hearing none, seeing none, you're a witness, sir.
Very good. Why don't you brought with you a mounted copy of the full site plan of the board is in site, correct? And could you just identify that for us, please? This is mine. Yeah, yes, it should be.
So as Mr. Jaworski identified, the larger big picture application is the 380,000 square foot warehouse. The part of the application that we're concerned about tonight is this triangular piece that I'm going to highlight over here. which is that the primary point of egress off of Route 17, which is the part of the development that is within Rochelle Park.
Actually, ingress, I think you said egress.
Ingress, I apologize, ingress. Yep. So that is the primary ingress onto the development off of Route 17, 24-foot wide drive aisle. And it services for both pedestrian parking as it loops around the property, provides access to the northwestern parking area, as well as for truck circulation, as well as it provides access to the larger loop road, which allows trucks to circulate to the loading area along the southern portion of the
In terms
building.
of the overall site, I mentioned in my comments that it's about a 27-plus acre site, but only about half an acre belongs in Rochelle Park. That's correct, right?
Correct, yeah, it's approximately 0.47 acres that's within Rochelle Park.
And I believe the impervious is dropping dramatically from existing to proposed. The only thing that's going to be impervious, besides a couple of little slivers of parking stalls, is the actual drive aisle, correct?
Yeah, for context, existing is 0.27 acres of impervious coverage, whereas proposed, it's 0.081 acres of impervious coverage. So it is a reduction.
Right. And there's no improvements other than that drive aisle, that access point and drive aisle on the site that's in Rochelle Park?
The only other improvements would be DEP driven, which are what they have identified, which is part of what's causing the delay, as you could call it, is the historical ditches that exist along the Route 17 right-of-way, as well as there's a 30-inch gas main as well that, over the past 12-plus months, we've been coordinating with both the gas company and DEP on satisfying all of their comments and conditions for both the gas main and the historical ditches.
And I apologize for my not knowing the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you been involved with the DOT negotiations as well, or is that Atlantic Traffic?
That's Atlantic Traffic, correct.
Then I'll probably call one of these gentlemen up to talk to you about that, because literally that's a day-by-day thing. And I want you to understand that as well. All right, what else about the site do we need to call to the board's attention? Relevant to Rochelle Park now, we're talking.
That's really everything.
Excuse me a second, Jim. Can he designate points of interest that are on 17 so the board can get a better idea of where the property is located?
Sure.
At the far north end, that's just before the ramp going up, right?
Just before the ramp going up. Yes.
There's an incline.
Yes,
Okay.
on the highway itself, yes.
And the southern part is that where the gas station used to be?
The gas station is actually still there.
Okay.
That Sunoco is going to remain intact. You are abutting, I'm sorry if I'm answering the question, but you're abutting to the south the Fitness and Wellness Center.
Okay.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll come back. And to the north, your property description calls it Grove Street, but I know there's a little street there just before the tile store. I think that's what's called Grove Street, but if there's also an address of Route 17 proper, that's 555-155 New Jersey State Highway Route 17. That's also in the tax records as the address for this property in Rochelle Park. It's kind of a weird little sliver, if you will.
Yeah. And just so everyone gets an idea of the location.
It's the old, essentially, guys, it's the old Sears site.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
One other question. I don't know if you would know this. There was an issue with the sewer system that went across 17. That was further down. I know that the storage building had to address that. It went across 17, the sewer system.
The storage building.
That's where the Harley Davidson is.
Okay.
On that side of the highway.
Okay.
So evidently, it doesn't seem to be an issue.
I don't think that's an issue in regard to, it's nothing I've ever heard with respect to this site.
Okay.
And I did the office building, that's now mostly medical, next to Muscarelli's building.
Right.
I did that. application in Maywood. I don't recall it there. I did the fitness and wellness. I don't recall it there. So maybe that was just relevant to the Harley dealership, which unfortunately I didn't get that job.
And again, our part is just that driveway.
Correct.
And there's nothing underneath that driveway, no pipes, sewage.
It would just be the culvert for the historical ditches that, with DEP.
Okay.
Can you explain the historical ditches?
Correct.
Can you explain that a little bit further?
Yeah, so, when we were initially these ditches exist today. We, initially had coordinated with DEP, and we were in the midst of submission when we initially came before this board, a few years ago. But, during final approvals, DEP had flagged these ditches as historical. So with that, it eliminated, or I shouldn't say eliminated, it created an obstacle from a grading standpoint pertaining to the site. And then there is the existing gas main as well, which, because we were encroaching on there, they asked our office to provide additional coverage above the gas main. So the coordination with DEP came in where DEP initially did not permit any grading or improvements within what they called the area for the historical ditches. So we went back with DEP, provided some retaining walls. This is not on the Rochelle Park side, though, just to be clear, it's just along the frontage. But there's areas of retaining walls that we provided to provide additional cover, all in coordination with both Williams, with the gas company, and DEP.
The Rochelle Park property that was discussing, that will be utilized for parking, you mentioned?
The Rochelle Park part of the prop is just egress or ingress onto the property that provides an access for drivers to get to the parking area that's in Maywood.
Are we talking about people who work in this facility?
Correct.
Or, as you mentioned, you have truck bays.
Correct.
Would trucks be going and utilizing this entrance as well, or would that just be for passenger cars?
No, it does provide access for trucks to also utilize to access the loading area.
Traffic, have we done any kind of studies with the traffic?
Yes, it's in the resolution. Dean Pinto testified.
I've actually brought through the second sheet of what we used for site plan approval back in. It's a blow-up, primarily the area in Rochelle Park. That might be a better thing to put on the board here. So we'll mark this, what are we, 5, what are the 5, Jim? Okay, so would you just identify that for us, please?
A5, correct?
Yeah.
And highlight that, if you don't mind. Then identify it. Sorry.
So this plan is the site layout plan A, which is sheet C301 of the preliminary and final site plan application. It is dated October 21st, 2021, and the latest revision date of this is August 2nd, 2022, and I've marked that as A5.
And now, there were some questions by Board Member Smith with regard to whether there's any parking in the Rochelle Park area. Can you highlight the areas of parking that are in Rochelle Park?
So the only portions would be really just nicking the corner of parking spaces that would be within Maywood. But that is the portion of parking that would be within Rochelle Park.
Is there more than one entrance to the truck bays, or is this the main entrance to the truck bays to the parking lot?
The other entrance, I'll just flip to the overall. The other entrance would utilize Maywood Avenue.
And that, I can tell you from just my knowledge of the application, that's primarily going to be for the smaller trucks. Route 17 is going to be the primary point of entrance for the major trucks.
I'm sorry, Maywood Avenue is not close to there.
Yes, it is. Well, this side it is. Could you just...
Yes, so this is...
Now we're talking about Maywood proper, okay?
Right, yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out where the inn would be.
Yes, so Maywood Avenue runs along, I'll just call it Plan East. Correct.
Now I realize it, yeah, thank you.
Right.
I know where.
If you've driven past, you
The
know
same
this.
place where you go into like HUMC, like into it's like along there?
Yes and no. There's a street that takes you into the fitness and
Yes.
wellness. It's not that.
Okay.
It's further down. Another.
It's the other one?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Um,
It's just. I'm
Sean,
sorry.
are you
No.
done questioning?
No, go.
My question is, I know that you said that the address is State Road, New Jersey Highway, whatever.
Right.
Has this gone before the Bergen County Planning Board? Because this is a Bergen County road.
Actually, in Rochelle Park, it's not county jurisdiction.
But
It's just DOT.
Okay.
We have
So
county
my-
approval for the Maywood Avenue
But
connection.
so my next question is this property part of the potential widening of Route 17 that goes through Rochelle Park that they do have jurisdiction over?
DOT is all over it.
Okay,
The answer is we're all over it.
okay. I just wanted to double check because I know that there's,
Yes,
stuff happening there, not happening
yes,
whichever way the wind blows.
all over.
I have a question.
I'm sorry, I can just follow
Oh, I'm
follow
sorry, I
that up.
thought you were done.
The design, with these guys, with Fowler and with Atlantic Engineering was such that it could accommodate that kind of widening, should it ever come to fruition. I've been hearing about it for,
Of course.
And candidly, the widening, there's issues there with DEP as well, because that encroaches within the historical districts.
Yes.
So there's a bit of point of conflict there as well.
Mhm. And you said that our entrance is just an entrance, there is no exit from that area?
That's
correct.
Okay, that was not at the last meeting,
Absolutely
so
one way.
this is fresh for me. Thank you.
Ms. Muller?
So you only, from what I read, you're concerned with the, in our town, the ingress, landscaping and a pole, right? Is that basically a light pole?
the width of the driveway entrance is also above variance.
Yes,
But
73.
as we've testified to
Right.
already, the actual width is only 24 feet as you
Right.
drive into the site, which is conventional.
Right.
But the entrance along the highway is, I believe,
73.
70-something?
Three.
Yes, 73.
Right.
Yeah,
That's just a function of geometry. That
right.
doesn't-
Well, that was my other thought here. I mean, I know this is all done and you're in contact with the DOT, but it says that they've been in contact with the DOT as to a proposed acceleration and deceleration lane. So,
So,
I mean,
yes.
I know these trucks can't go hauling down the highway and make a right turn.
And on this zoomed in plan sheet, you could see the proposed deceleration lane for the designated right turn as well. The designated striping and everything. So that's all been coordinated with DOT as part of the initial approvals.
How long is that lane? Should that lane be
Um,
around?
Get a scale, yeah, no, I have a scale too. I'll
I mean,
grab
I'm
it.
sure it's studied that it's enough time for the trucks. It's enough time for the trucks to slow down.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you've driven there. That's a rough bottleneck. Well, it's a rough place to,
It's been designed by Atlantic Traffic. They're pretty serious traffic experts.
So,
Yeah, it's,
You had John Harder here of Atlantic Traffic.
That's correct.
Back in '23.
it's around 400 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
He was accepted as an expert in the field of traffic. He testifies to the safety and access to the property. He testified the driveway has been designed to be used by the largest permitted vehicles on the road, and that the greater width of the driveway is required. That's all we have down for the resolution.
John testified extensively.
Yes.
From Maywood as well, which I handled. Mr. Cohen handled this application.
I know.
Michael, one more
Yes,
question
Ms.
that
Schultz.
is probably for you or Mr. Mondella, just so I'm clear on what we're voting on. All of these plans have already been approved. We are just voting to extend
This thing here.
that ordinance to go forward
Yeah,
until
this- so this resolution-
start their construction.
D1 variance?
Okay.
Yeah, this variance and the resolution that we have a copy
But it's
of,
just to extend it because they haven't started.
not to
construction.
add anything to it, just
Okay.
extend this. I understand they started an escrow account. I know that we got that resolution from the town to begin purchasing equipment, et cetera. But if you read the resolution from 2023 that was approved this is exactly what you're asking for to be extended.
Correct.
And how long would that extension be for, another year?
I'm sure he's going to ask for,
A year from the date of action of this board should be enough, but we might have to come back again. I gave you the timeframe. We're looking at spring start on the construction, and probably it's a 12 to 16-month project. So if we go for a year, we're probably going to have to come back one more time.
I mean, from tonight.
Yeah. We probably have to come back one more time. Otherwise,
The board could do 2 years, they could do a year and a half, they could do a year, they could do 6 months. 6 months isn't going to work, sounds like a year is not going to work.
Right.
You mentioned the World Cup. You mentioned the World Cup.
That's coming June
of
June, July, I think.
And then you mentioned that you want to start in the spring. How do you think that will?
The work that can't be done is the DOT right-of-way work. The work that can be done is behind that. Yeah.
Just a quick question. We have no jurisdiction over Maywood, but the entrance, is it an entrance and an egress?
Yes.
On the Maywood side?
Yes.
Okay. So if there was any widening of 17, you also have the accessory use on the backside?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's not going away.
Mr. Coleman, as part of the sewer question you asked earlier, number 20 in the resolution, page 8, does say the sanitary sewer modifications must be approved if they're applicable. So if there's anything with the sewer that has to do with Rochelle Park, you guys will meet the requirements there. So I just want to make sure the board knows what you guys agreed to in 2023. Any other questions? Comments from our professionals? This is just an extension. I'm not sure if you guys have anything to add.
Item, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Morandi?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I'm not familiar with the application. I just did have a question. Is there a treatment works application approval in?
All permits were obtained.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's us, board members, to grant an extension, based on the resolution from 2023. The time frame, as Mr. Mondell said, is up to us. It sounds like from the testimony that a 1-year extension may be not enough, but it can be something we hold them to come back in a year from now, or you can grant more. Any thoughts up here?
You just want to see my face again.
Any thoughts?
How long was the, you said 12 to 16 months from the time you break ground in the spring?
Which is, yes, the second quarter is where they have it booked currently.
Okay.
Mr. Coleman? Yeah, you were going to say something too?
Any suggestions from Jim as far as what time frame he would?
I think 2 years would probably do it so that we don't have to come back. I would hope.
12 months from
It
today.
might still be close, but.
The World Cup will be over.
Yeah. I mean, I can bring him up and testify about the DOT if you want. What we're concerned about is just work with cable in the right of way. And that might have to get suspended for 2 months when the World Cup is ongoing. There's a whole story about where they get the cable from and all that,
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to approve the extension for 2 years from today. There's a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, Michaela.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Mattson?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Holtz?
Yes.
Member Mueller? Yes. Alternate Smith?
We're going to do 7 again.
Okay.
Yes.
And then alternate Kandira? Yes. Okay, that's 7.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking this time to go through it with the newer members.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you can. Oh, where are the pictures? Oh, do you want these? Here you go. Oh, you need these or no? Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. All right. Yes. Guys, we just have to wrap up the meeting here. There is no closed session for anything tonight, so I do want to thank Michaela for filling in for Gina tonight. She did a great job, so thank you, Michaela, for your work tonight. Really appreciate that. Gina will be back next month. She had a family engagement that she had prior to taking on her role as land use secretary. With that being said, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
And a second?
I will.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Oh, have a happy Thanksgiving.
You as well. Happy Thanksgiving. You as well.